She set his laptop on fire on her first day. He was the coldest CEO in Seattle. Their love story, absolutely against company policy. Emma Chen stood frozen in the gleaming lobby of Horizon Tech, watching in horror as coffee dripped from CEO Blake Sterling's pristine white shirt. How so, Daddy Coffee? Her triple-shot caramel monstrosity that had cost her last $7.50. The man whose face graced Seattle Business Magazine's 30 Under 30 cover last month was now wearing it. She began. Fired? His Arctic blue eyes narrowed. That would be the logical conclusion. The coffee stain spread like a bad decision across his chest. Emma's first day as Horizon's data science intern was going exactly as her family would have predicted. They called her Hurricane Emma back in Portland, the girl who'd accidentally set off the school fire alarm during her valedictorian speech, who'd tripped at her college graduation and taken down 3 professors like bowling pins. But she'd fought too hard for this internship to lose it over spilled coffee, even if it was spilled on the human equivalent of a glacier. Actually, she said, straightening her shoulders, I was going to say I'm so ready to problem solve this. She pulled a Tide pen from her purse. Silicon Valley startup. Removes anything. Like my embarrassment, hopefully. A flicker of something surprise crossed his face before the ice returned. 10th floor. Olivia's waiting. Don't make her wait longer than you've made me wait for a coffee-free shirt. He turned and strode toward a private elevator, leaving Emma standing in a puddle of her own mess. Who was that? She whispered to the security guard. Blake Sterling, owner, CEO, the human calculator who turned a failing startup into Seattle's hottest tech company in 3 years. And I just baptized him in caramel macchiato. Perfect. The 10th floor of Horizon Tech hummed with energy. Developers hunched over multiple screens. Marketing teams huddled around storyboards. And through it all moved a tall Indian woman in a crisp charcoal suit who spotted Emma immediately. Emma Chen, I'm Olivia Shaw, project manager. You're late. There was an incident downstairs. With Blake, word travels fast. Follow me. Olivia led her to a tiny desk crammed between a printer and a fern that had seen better days. Your first assignment is data verification for Project Phoenix. Simple, check these numbers against our database entries. No mistakes, no distractions. She handed Emma a stack of papers. 1 error, and you're out. Horizon doesn't believe in second chances. Emma nodded, determination setting in as she pulled her laptop from her bag. She could do this. She'd graduated top of her class at MIT. She'd once debugged her professor's research code in an hour when he'd been stuck for weeks. She was Emma Chen, data wizard, not Hurricane Emma. Not anymore. For 20 glorious minutes, she was in the zone. Numbers flowing between spreadsheets, anomalies flagged, patterns emerging. Then her elbow knocked over her water bottle, sending liquid cascading across her keyboard. Her laptop sputtered, sparked, and died with a mournful beep. No, 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 she hissed, frantically mopping up water with her cardigan sleeve. The laptop flickered back to life, screen glitching wildly, and somehow sent an email she'd been drafting. Not to her assigned supervisor, to the entire company. A dancing panda gif with the caption, "Me trying to adult today," now blasting to everyone including the CEO she'd already drenched. Laughter erupted across the floor. Who sent this? Someone called out. New interns got jokes. Another replied. Emma slid down in her chair, whispering, I'm so dead. Olivia materialized like an angry spirit. What did you do, Chen? Before Emma could stammer a response, a shadow fell over her desk. She looked up to find Blake Sterling standing there, arms crossed over his coffee-stained shirt. Miss Chen, he said, voice cool as winter rain. I see you've made quite the impression. Twice. The floor went silent. Emma's heart pounded so hard she was sure everyone could hear it. I was just in my office. Emma followed him to the elevator, her wet cardigan clinging uncomfortably to her arms, her cheeks burning with humiliation. This was it. The shortest internship in Horizon history. Blake's office occupied the top floor, a minimalist space of glass and steel with floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing Seattle's skyline. Rain streaked the glass, turning the city into a watercolor painting. Sit, he pointed to a chair across from his desk. Emma sat clutching her dead laptop like a shield. You've been here less than 2 hours, he began, and you've already ruined my shirt, broken company property, and sent a dancing animal to our entire staff, including our board members. It's actually a panda, she said, then immediately wished she could disappear through the floor. Blake stared at her and then so quickly she almost missed it. The corner of his mouth twitched, a hint of a smirk. That was unexpected. Pandas are technically bears, he replied, straightening a pen on his immaculate desk. Actually, they're their own unique subfamily. Ailuropodonae. Neither bears nor raccoons, though closer to bears evolutionarily. Emma bit her lip. Sorry. Useless trivia is my nervous response. Blake's eyes narrowed slightly. MIT graduate. Top of your class in data science and computational biology. Perfect scores on our technical assessment. That's why you're here instead of already fired. He pushed a sleek laptop across the desk toward her. Use Project Phoenix needs someone who can find patterns others miss. Your resume says that's you. Prove it, and I'll forget about the coffee and the panda. Emma blinked, stunned by this unexpected reprieve. Thank you. I won't let you down. Everyone lets me down eventually, Miss Chen. It's just a matter of when. His eyes, briefly revealing something wounded, returned to their usual frost. Dismissed. Back at her desk, Emma exhaled a shaky breath. Hurricane Emma stays in the closet, she whispered to herself. Data Wizard comes out to play. For 2 weeks, Emma kept her head down, diving deep into Project Phoenix, an AI system designed to predict market trends with unprecedented accuracy. The numbers sang to her, patterns emerging like constellations from the chaos. One rainy evening, the office nearly empty, she noticed something odd in the algorithm. A glitch that wasn't obvious but could potentially skew results by 2.3%, enough to cause major problems down the line. She stayed late, fueled by vending machine snacks and determination, untangling code until her eyes burned. At 2 a.m. she cracked it, finding an elegant solution that not only fixed the glitch but improved the algorithm's efficiency. Exhausted but triumphant, she fell asleep at her desk, face pressed against her notebook. She woke to someone saying her name. Miss Chen. Emma jolted upright, a sticky note stuck to her cheek. Blake Sterling stood there holding her report, dawn light streaming through the windows behind him. Oh my God, she yelped, frantically wiping drool from the corner of her mouth. What time is it? 6:30. You fixed the Lambert variable. Emma peeled the sticky note from her face. You read my report already. I read everything that crosses my desk before 7 a.m. He tapped her notes. This solution is unconventional. But it works, she said, suddenly defensive. I ran 3 simulations. It more than works. It's brilliant. Emma stared, certain she was still dreaming. I'm sorry. What? Your approach addresses not just the current glitch but anticipates potential cascade failures. It's the kind of thinking we need. He set the report down. Board meeting, 9 a.m. Present this. Me? Present to the board? But I'm just an intern. An intern who found something my senior developers missed. 9 a.m. Miss Chen, don't be late. And maybe, his eyes flickered to her wrinkled clothes and haystack hair. Freshen up first. As he walked away, Emma noticed something shocking. A genuine smile had briefly curved his lips. That made twice she'd seen him almost human. The board presentation was a blur of nerves and adrenaline. Emma explained her findings, hands shaking slightly but voice steady. When she finished, the room remained silent until Blake spoke. Miss Chen just saved Project Phoenix millions in potential error corrections. This is why we hire for brilliance, not pedigree. After that, her status at Horizon shifted. Her desk moved from printer corner to the data science pit. Olivia Shaw stopped looking at her like she was waiting for the next disaster. Her colleagues started coming to her with thorny problems. Even Blake seemed different. Still distant, still intense, but he'd call her directly to his office for input. Their discussions about algorithms and data structures stretching late into evenings. Emma found herself looking forward to these sessions, studying his face when he concentrated. The furrow between his dark brows, the way his voice softened when discussing ideas rather than people. One night, rain lashing against the windows, their conversation shifted unexpectedly. Why data science? He asked, leaning back in his chair. Emma hesitated. Truth, I like that data doesn't lie. People are messy. Unpredictable. Numbers make sense. Even when they don't make sense, they're telling you something, he added, surprising her. Exactly. Like they have their own language. And you speak it fluently. He studied her, something unreadable in his expression. Your family must be proud. Emma laughed without humor. My parents wanted a graceful daughter who would take over their restaurant. Instead, they got Hurricane Emma, the walking disaster who chose algorithms over dumplings. Hurricane Emma. His lips quirked. It's what they call me back home. I broke my cousin's nose at a wedding, accidentally set my chemistry lab on fire, and once destroyed an entire art exhibition by tripping over the power cable. She shrugged, trying to keep her tone light. Hence weather-based nickname. Blake was quiet for a long moment. I was calculator boy, foster home, too focused on numbers and business journals to make friends. Some nicknames follow us for reasons that have nothing to do with who we really are. Emma's heart squeezed. This glimpse behind his icy facade felt precious, unexpected. Calculator boy built an empire though, and Hurricane Emma is revolutionizing our AI approach. Their eyes met across the desk, something electric passing between them. The moment shattered when Blake's phone rang. He checked it, his expression closing off immediately. Alexander Rivera, he muttered, declining the call. Rival tech CEO, been trying to poach my staff or steal our ideas for years. I've heard of Apex Tech, Emma said. Their algorithms are good, but not Horizon good. Blake's mouth twitched in that now familiar almost smile. That's what keeps me ahead. Now go home, Miss Chen. Even data wizards need sleep. Walking to the elevator, Emma realized with a start that she was falling for Blake Sterling, the man whose shirt she'd ruined on day one, the man whose company policy explicitly forbade inter-office relationships, especially with interns. Disaster row, she whispered to herself. The next morning chaos erupted when Alexander Rivera himself strolled into Horizon's lobby uninvited. Tall, tan, with a smile too white to be trusted, he spotted Emma immediately. You must be the famous Emma Chen, he said, extending his hand. Your reputation precedes you. Emma frowned. How do you know who I am? Talent recognizes talent. Coffee? I'd love to discuss your future at Apex. Before she could respond, Blake appeared, his presence commanding immediate attention. Rivera, my building, my employees. Get out. Alexander smiled lazily. Just having a friendly chat with Miss Chen here. She might prefer a company that values innovation over old grudges. I'm good where I am. Thanks, Emma said firmly. Alexander handed her a business card anyway. When you're ready for the big leagues, call me. After he left, Blake pulled Emma aside, voice tight. Stay away from him. He's not trustworthy. I turned him down already. What's with the warning? Blake's jaw clenched. Just do as I say. The cold dismissal stung. Do as you say. I'm not one of your computers you can just program, Blake. His eyes widened at her use of his first name. Miss Chen, it's Emma. After all our late nights working, you could at least call me Emma. She stormed off, confusion and hurt churning in her chest. That Friday, Horizon hosted a tech gala for investors. Emma wore the one fancy dress she owned, midnight blue with silver threading that reminded her of stars. She'd barely seen Blake for days, their easy rapport replaced with strained silence. The event was in full swing when she overheard Blake arguing with Alexander in a quiet corner. I know what you're after, Blake said, voice low and dangerous. Do you? Alexander smiled. Your new intern seems brilliant. Maybe she'd prefer a company without your emotional limitations. Emma stepped back, but knocked over a champagne glass. Both men turned. Emma, Blake said, surprise evident. Alexander's smile widened. Perfect timing. Tell me, does Blake here ever mention our history? How Calculator Boy stole my algorithms back at Stanford? That's not what happened, Blake said through gritted teeth. No? Then tell her how you sabotaged my startup while building Horizon on my ideas. Emma looked between them, confused. Blake, don't listen to him, Blake said, but something in his eyes made her stomach twist. He's trying to turn you against me. Why would that matter, unless? Alexander's eyes gleamed. Oh, I see. She matters to you. The Ice King has feelings after all. Blake's hands clenched into fists. Leave her out of this. Too late. Alexander shrugged. She's already involved. Check your security protocols, Blake. Someone's been accessing Project Phoenix files from outside your network. He walked away, leaving Emma staring at Blake. What is he talking about? She demanded. Nothing. He's trying to create problems. But Blake wouldn't meet her eyes. Excuse me. All weekend Emma's mind raced. Something wasn't right. Monday morning she arrived early to find Olivia waiting at her desk, face grim. Conference room. Now. Inside, Blake stood by the window, tension radiating from his rigid stance. 2 security guards flanked the door. What's going on? Emma asked, heart pounding. Blake turned, his expression hard as granite. Project Phoenix files were accessed remotely and transmitted to an external server, Alpex's server. What? How is that? The login credentials used were yours. He slid a laptop toward her, showing the access logs. Her username, her password, data packets flowing to an unknown IP address. That's impossible, she whispered. I didn't do this. The evidence says otherwise, Blake replied, voice devoid of emotion. Alexander Rivera contacts you. Suddenly our most valuable project is compromised. The timing is convenient. Emma felt like she'd been slapped. You think I betrayed you? After everything? I think the evidence is compelling. Evidence can be manipulated. You know me, Blake. Look at me and tell me you believe I'd do this. For a heartbeat, doubt flickered in his eyes. Then he looked away. Security will escort you out. Your internship is terminated. Blake, please. It's Miss Turling. And this conversation is over. Emma walked out of Horizon in a daze, rain soaking her to the skin, tears mixing with the downpour. Back in her tiny apartment, she collapsed on her bed, hurt giving way to anger. He didn't even give me a chance, she told her roommate Zoe that night. After all those late nights working together, all those conversations, he just threw me away. Zoe squeezed her hand. So prove him wrong. You're Emma freaking Chen. Hurricane Emma doesn't go quietly. Something clicked. Emma sat up straight. You're right. The Emma he thinks I am wouldn't hack anything because she's too incompetent. The real me wouldn't hack anything because I'm not a traitor. But I can hack back and find out who framed me. She pulled out her laptop, determination hardening in her chest. Calculator boy thinks he knows numbers? Let me show him what Hurricane Emma can really do. For 3 days straight, Emma barely slept, tracing data pathways, analyzing access logs, rebuilding the digital crime scene. On the 4th day she found it, a sophisticated backdoor program installed through the printer next to her old desk, designed to hijack her credentials. The digital signature was unmistakable, not Apex Tech, it was Olivia Shaw. Emma combed through financial records, finding offshore payments from a shell company linked to a Horizon competitor, not Apex but Nexus Corp, where Olivia's husband worked as CTO. She compiled everything into an airtight case, then did something reckless. She emailed Blake directly. I know you won't believe me without proof. Here it is. Conference room, 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll show you who really betrayed Horizon. She didn't expect him to show, but at 8:55 the next morning, she walked into Horizon. Security badge mysteriously reactivated, and found Blake waiting. He looked terrible, shadows under his eyes, tie slightly askew. So unlike his usual perfect self. 5 minutes, he said. Emma nodded, connecting her laptop to the projector. Olivia Shaw sold your secrets, not me. Not to Alexander Rivera, but to Nexus Corp. She walked him through her evidence step by step, voice steady despite her racing heart. When she finished, Blake was silent, staring at the final screen showing the money trail. Why go to all this trouble, he finally asked. Why not just walk away? Emma met his gaze directly. Because you matter to me. Because I believed in what we were building. Because I needed you to see me. Really see me. Blake stood, pacing to the window. I should have trusted you. Yes, you should have. Emma, He turned, vulnerability raw on his face. I've never been good at trusting people. Especially people who make me feel things I can't control. So Calculator Boy is still afraid of messiness, she said softly. And Hurricane Emma still blows through everyone's defenses. He stepped closer, rain pattering against the windows like a heartbeat. I don't want to be your boss anymore, he said quietly. Emma's heart sank. I understand. No, you don't. Blake reached for her hand. I want to be the man who takes you to dinner, who gets to know Emma Chen outside these walls. Who doesn't have company policies keeping him from kissing you right now? Emma's breath caught. That could be arranged. Blake's smile, a real full smile that transformed his face, was worth all the chaos. I've never dated someone I fired before, he admitted. I've never dated someone whose shirt I ruined with coffee, she countered. Then we're even. Olivia was arrested for corporate espionage the following week. Alexander Rivera sent Blake a rare congratulatory email for catching the real culprit. Emma was rehired, not as an intern but as special projects lead, reporting directly to the CTO rather than Blake. A compromise that allowed their personal relationship to blossom without professional conflicts. 6 months later, they stood on Blake's penthouse balcony. Seattle spread before them like a carpet of lights. I have something for you, Blake said, handing her a small box. Inside lay a beautiful silver pendant shaped like a hurricane symbol, to remind you that some storms are worth weathering, he murmured, helping her put it on. Emma touched it gently. Does Calculator Boy still get scared of Hurricane Emma? Blake pulled her close, his lips brushing her forehead. Every day. But now I run toward the storm, not away from it. When he kissed her, slow and deep, Emma felt her heart soar. She'd arrived at Horizon, a disaster waiting to happen, and found the one person who saw strength in her chaos. I love you, she whispered against his lips. Calculations and all. Blake's eyes softened in that way reserved only for her. And I love you. Coffee stains and all. As rain began to fall, gentle and cleansing, Emma knew she'd finally found her place. Not in Portland, not even at Horizon, but with the man who had learned to embrace the beautiful mess of loving Hurricane Emma. Wow. What did you think of Hurricane Emma and Calculator Boy's stormy love story? Drop a comment with your favorite moment. Rate this from 1 to 10 and let us know where you're watching from. Hit subscribe for more heart-melting office romances every week. Your support keeps our stories flowing like Seattle rain.